Hello everyone, this is another video that I'm going to do about religion, and this is going to be about how religion has been so detrimental to the history of man in general. This first video on religion is going to be about the conquest of India by Islam. Here you have how in Islamic forces came from the east, from the northeast, and invaded India. And they fought for over about 800 to 900 years, all the way, and still fighting today. But the type of bloodshed that was created there was horrible, the worst anywhere in the world. And what I'm going to prove is through this video and let you know that religion has been a negative for mankind. We probably as humans would have found something else to fight about. But religion in particular really has been horrible. So we're going to show how you had here a very enlightened country, India, that was overrun by Islam, and actually he stopped its growth. It prevented India from developing. And India today is still suffering from that Islamic development prevention.
Consumed the entire wing of the Taj Hotel, a massive explosion that.
This was the attack in Mumbai by a terrorist that came from Pakistan, supported by the Pakistani government, by the Pakistani ISI, and still today trying to attack India because they are now Muslims. They still want to convert India into a Muslim state, even though the South Asian subcontinent was divided in 1947 for those reasons, to separate the two peoples, because they could not live together. And let's be real about this. It's most of the time that the people cannot live together is because Muslims cannot live with anybody else. You cannot say that I am attacking Muslims or that I am against Muslim. It is the fact. If you show me otherwise, I will accept it. But the facts are that wherever Muslims go, they will have some issues. Now, that is in particular. In general, all religions do have an issue wherever they go. And I will, in other videos, show you how Christianity has done the same thing. But let's not forget, you cannot compare the mentality of Christianity in general with the mentality of Islam in general. The mentality of Islamists and Islam in general is a lot more backward, more repressive, more anti-development, anti-progress, anti-future than any other religion in the world right now. Here I'm showing you a map of Islam in the world. Countries that are Islamic, or mostly Islamic, with a large population of Muslims, Sunni in the light green, Shia on the dark green right here, mostly Iran, southern Iraq, North Yemen, and some parts of Afghanistan. And even among themselves, they hate each other. But what I wanted to show you is to prove the point that Islam is toxic. It's very simple. Islam was created by an epileptic man that his visions were actually seizures, Muhammad, in the year around say anywhere from 650 to 700, around that area. I'm not going to be exact, it's not important. So around the 7th century. Okay, so he has almost 1,500 years 1,400 years of time to growth, for growth and enlightenment. But they haven't. Islam has stayed in the same location, in time, standing still. Now, you have to understand that this is not about political correctness or incorrectness. This is not about so-called racism, because it's a religion. You can't be racist against a religion. I'm not saying that this because they are Afghanis or Indian or Saudis or Algerian or Sudanese, or they black or they white. No, it's the religion. It's toxic. Okay? It's got nothing to do with that. But what it has to do is that if you look at this map, what does it tell you? What does that map tell you right when you see it, without me having to tell you? What does it show you? Okay, I'll tell you now. Poor areas of the world. Poor, undeveloped countries that are being prevented from growing, from learning by Islam. Because Islam is living in the past. Like I started telling you about India, let's talk a little bit about India right here. India had a great civilization before Islam came around. But after Islam took over the whole Indian subcontinent, it prevented India to continue to be an enlightened country. So they had to fight the Hindus for their life. So they've been fighting for 800, 900, 1,000 years. And that prevented India from being what they could have been if they would have stayed on the same path that they were before Islam came. What I'm saying to you is that Islam prevents countries from developing, and that is a fact. Take Iran, the Persians, one of the greatest civilizations in the world. Where are they now? Where they are now? You know where they are. Look at Indonesia, an Asian empire at one time. Malaysia, Southern Philippines, Indonesia with all the oil, what do? Saudi Arabia with all the oil, what do? But what prevents them? It's not their people. You take a person from Saudi Arabia and you move it to London, they become successful. As long as they don't bring the stupidity of Islam with them. You take a person from Iran and you move it to France or the United States, and if they leave behind the stupidity of religion, they become great engineers, scientists, doctors. But when they bring Islam with them, like they do in Great Britain, and they stay in the little enclaves because Western culture have decided that diversity is supposed to be good for them. For us, which is not diversity what is good, doesn't give you any strength. It's our commonality that gives us strength. But anyway, when they have created this little enclave in Great Britain, they are becoming ghetto-like, just like being back home in India or Pakistan. Because you can take Hindus from India, you can move them anywhere in the world, and guess what? You have no problem with the Indians. You have no problem with Hindus anywhere in the world that they go. Why is that? Well, first, because the Indians and the Hindus are not throwing their religion around, telling you that you should be like them. No. they let you be, and they work hard. But Muslims from India, they move, and once they become a few, then they want to try to tell you what to do. That's what religion does. But Islam in particular is the worst. So you take two families from India, one is a Muslim and one is a Hindu, and I guarantee you that you're never going to have any problem. Tell me now how many Indian friends you might have, and tell me how many are Hindus and how many are Muslims. And I show you that successful, the most successful are going to be the Hindus, because they leave the religion behind. They'll just live it within themselves, which is what it should be. But in the end, all religions are horrible. Islam is just the worst. So anyway, you take somebody from Iran the same way. If he's a Christian, or he's a really not very good follower of Islam, he becomes a successful person. If he is a follower of Islam, he'll beat up his wife, might kill his children if they don't obey him, and he's going to be an asshole. Here's what happened, though. A lot of you are going to say, well, but I have some friends that are Muslims and they're great people. Of course. That's the norm. When you deal with somebody one-on-one, most people, most human beings, are very good people. The problem is that the same person that is a great person to you, if you put them together with a couple hundreds of them, living in your same neighborhood, they will begin to try to tell you what to do, how to live your life. See, that is what the problem is. It's not about the human being in particular. It's about the religion in general that are killing humanity. We need to get rid of them. The first one is Islam. We have to get rid of Islam. It's the most corrosive, toxic religion in the world. And like I have shown you in this map here, it keeps people down. It keeps people in poverty. It keeps people living in the past. This, what I'm saying, is not racist because it's just a religion. I don't care what color they are. For God's sake, they got a lot of white people that are Muslims, the Turks, the Syrian, Iraqis, the Middle Eastern. If you don't, I know you don't know this, but most Middle Eastern are Caucasian people. So I don't care what race you are. It's just your religion that I don't like, and I disapprove of. I disapprove of all religion. Today I'm just talking about Islam. Next time we'll talk about Christianity. And I will say basically the same thing, but Christianity has a more general enlightenment point of view, an ability to let you live your own life point of view than Islam. So we're going to stick just to Islam for right now. So here you got all these countries in the Middle East with lots of oil. What do? Nothing. And please, don't tell me, don't blame me on colonialism and all that. Listen, that should be passed, okay? That, you should have gotten over that. If you had good governance and you could have no religion, you would have gotten past that. But it's government that is limited by religion would create the chaos that you all live in. So wouldn't you like to live in a better place? Yes, you would. That's why you moved to Western Europe or Europe in general. But then you want to bring all your mental disease, which is your religion. We cannot accept that anymore. Because what it is that we turn this map, which is limited to North Africa and the Middle East and some part of Asia and India, and it would enlarge it to Europe and North America, Australia. And we don't need that because we humans do not need to go backward or stand still. We need to progress. See, people are going to say, well, wait a minute. How can you say that they are backward because the Arab created so many great things, algebra, the zero, some different civilization. I say, yes, they did. But pay attention to the dates. All those dates were prior to Muhammad. All those great things that the Arab did was before Islam. So don't get confused, my friends. Islam has done shit. Okay? They have gotten more radical as years go by. They have destroyed India. They totally destroyed Pakistan, a country that was divided from India because they wanted to give the Muslims a place to live. And even then, they still cannot be happy. They're not happy enough to have their own country that was taken away from India to have the Muslim living there. They're not happy with that. They just still have to think about taking the whole subcontinent, because since they are doing mightily terrible in Pakistan, and India is moving forward even little by little, being the brake being put on by those minorities, which are millions, hundreds of millions in India of Muslim, dragging the rest of the country down. And all the fighting you see in India, the interreligious fighting in India, sure is done sometimes by the Hindus, but most of the time is done by the inability of Islamic people, of Muslims, to live with other people. That is the main problem. You go as a Christian or as a nothing, as a non-religious person, go and live in a Muslim country to see how easy it is. Then take that around, put an Iraqi Muslim moving to the Ukraine, okay, and they can live in peace there because people will leave them alone. Maybe not today because people have gotten fed up with them. See, don't blame the people that got fed up with them. It was their radicalism that created the backlash that they're seeing today. It was not created all of a sudden, because before, we didn't care for them. We didn't think about it. Oh, just a neighbor there that dressed funny. You know, that's all it was. You didn't care. Well, let's just talk about the Sikh here from northern India. They're the one that wear the turban on their head. Remember that. Don't think that they're Arabs. They're not Muslims, okay? They're Sikh. They can live anywhere. They don't want to proselytize. They don't want you to convert. If you convert, fine, but they're not telling you how to live. But it's Muslims that are telling you what to live. Muslims in Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and Iran, and Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, and Oman, and Yemen, and Kuwait, and Syria, and Egypt, and Libya, and Algeria, and Morocco, where they, and some all the other ones, where they stone women for lies. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? To make the whole world a Saudi Arabia, where women can be stoned to death on a lie of a man because she cannot respond to that? Yeah, I don't care how liberal you are. You should at least be thinking about that. Okay? And I don't want this stupid religion to move out of they are. They should be contained. And little by little, we should just ban them. Just like we have a nuclear non-proliferation agreement, there should be an Islamic non-proliferation agreement also. Okay? Should be something that we should be looking forward to. And then we extend that to all the other religions. All of them. All of them. I will talk in another video about missionaries. Mormon missionaries, let's take. Going with a completely American religion that is basically just an American crazy religion, and exporting that religion to other countries that are not in Americans, and bring that mindset, the racist, crazy mindset of Mormonism is incredible. It should be illegal. The United Nations should ban them from doing that, because they're going to create chaos also, just like Islam created chaos. See, what happened is once religion becomes of a certain power, they start trying to pull their power in many, many ways. So we need to prevent this. This is not about Islam. This is about religion in general. And I started with Islam because it's the worst. If you don't believe me, show me that they are not. Not with bullshit. Show me a country that is an Islamic country that is worth anything. Okay? That's all I need to know. Don't tell me about what the Quran said or the Sunnah or none of that crap. I read it. Muhammad was a crazy man. Okay? He was epileptic, and his vision was when he fell on the ground, they didn't know what it was, and he said he had a vision. And every vision that Muhammad came up with, it was a response to an immoral act that he wanted to do. You understand that? That's what it was. Every vision from Muhammad, it was a reaction, an answer to an immoral act that he wanted to do. And you don't believe it? Go follow each one of them. How about his vision that it was all right to marry a 6-year-old girl except that you couldn't have vaginal sex with her? How about that vision? That was a vision in reaction to him wanting to marry a 6-year-old girl. And he knew that was so crazy to do that he had to have a vision from God to tell him that, yes, you could marry them as long as you can have vaginal sex with them. But you can have other sex but vaginal with them until 9. After 9, it's all free for you. Free for all. You see how crazy that is? Every answer, it was his answer to an immoral act. You can say whatever the hell you want. Muslims or defenders of religion in general. Anything you say has no basis. I'll give you a Christian answer. You have a child that is dying. It's your only child. And you have no money for medicine. And you pray, and you pray, and you pray, God, just one time, please help my daughter that is dying. Take me instead. Just help her. Give me some water so I can give her some medicine. Nothing happens. Then you go see your pastor. Then you say, Pastor, my daughter passed away. But I prayed with all my heart. And my faith was strong. You know what the pastor is going to tell you? I'm sorry, my brother, but you just don't know how to pray. Isn't that a nice answer? That's what they always would say. My brother, they didn't answer you because you didn't know how to pray. That's so hypocritical. That is, I mean, sometimes it can make you cry. Because that is the answer always. Oh, that didn't happen. That terrible thing happened to that group of people because they didn't know how to pray. But my question is to Christian, who in the hell knows how to pray? Because none of you do, because you got nothing answered, did you? You tell me, when did you win anything? When did you win the lottery? Did God give you anything? Huh? You got faith, but no result, right? So come on, people, face it. This doesn't exist. This religion thing doesn't exist. It's man-made because we need it. Okay, I understand that we need it, but not at this day. Not at this day and age anymore. There is no such thing as a God, okay? Not the way you imagine it. We can talk about different things, but not the way you see it, okay? But you think about what you said and why it's important that we need to contain these people. It's all because they stop you from getting where you need to go. Look at the map again, like we started. Look what they did to India. India could be one of the top countries in the world today. They got the population, they got the land area, they got the intelligence of other people, but what keeping India the way it is? Islam. What India should have done is take all the Muslims and move into Pakistan. That's what they wanted. They wanted that country. They got a country for free in 1947. And today, Pakistan is a piece of shit And India's thriving. Not to where it should be now, but it's thriving compared to this hellhole right here called Pakistan. So, if India get rid of the Muslim and send it to Pakistan, they should all want it to move. But you know what? They don't, because they know how shitty it is. They could do so much better. Anyway, next time we'll talk about Christianity and why we gotta abolish it too. So have a great day, all of you. And stop praying. Doesn't get you anything.